So you have to understand the logic of somebody like an Omarosa who, for years, worked with Clockwork Orange, aka Number 45, aka Donald Trump, for years, trying to beg and establish um, white acceptance, the illusion of inclusion, acting like she has a seat at the table, just begging for white acceptance for years, working with Number 45, Clockwork Orange, right? And, you know, to the point where she was hired once Number 45 was selected as so-called president of the United States, and she was hired as a part of his cabinet and administration. Nobody can really define her title or what she did for her so-called job at the White House, but she was hired as a paid staffer under the Clockwork Orange administration. So she acted like she had a seat at the table. Again, illusion of inclusion, begging for white acceptance. So she's been doing that for years, right? And things didn't work out for her because she was obviously fired. And so when you were working with a known white supremacist for years who did not give a shit about you, even though you were begging for white acceptance, you knew all the dastardly, disgusting, troglodyte, Caucasoid devil things that this guy, Clockwork Orange, was doing. You knew all the information. I mean, you don't need a tape from The Apprentice, from outtakes, where he was using racial epithets, etc., to validate that he's racist. It goes by his actions, and that's just one of them. But decades of actions of him practicing systemic oppression, white supremacy. Proof is in the pudding. We tamed a continent. We tamed a continent, is what he said. And that we don't apologize for the atrocities of what happened in America. Basically saying, all you goddamn niggers, we don't care how you got here. We don't apologize for the history of your atrocities from Africa to America. We're not going to apologize because we tamed the continent where you came from. And we're not going to apologize for how you got here. That's what he said. Right? So with Omarosa, and I called this before, I said, when she got fired from her job under Clockwork Orange, I said, she's going to have a tell-all book. I could been call that. She's going to have a tell-all book. She was begging for white acceptance for decades, working with Clockwork Orange, and things didn't work out. So she's definitely going to come out with a tell-all book. And of course, she's on the media trail, doing interviews, promoting her book, Unhinged, which is right now number 2 on, I believe, on the Amazon list. They're saying that this book here, Girl Wash Your Face, I believe, is still a number 1 bestseller in Amazon and New York New York Times bestseller. But number 2 is Unhinged. So she's still out there promoting her book, doing various interviews, in mainstream media, and just telling it all to the point where Clockwork Orange, he is the petty king. He will find a way to respond to you. If his name is being out there and thrown under the mud, he will respond. He will respond to you. So, so this is his recent tweet a couple days back. He said, called to say there were no tapes of The Apprentice where I used such a terrible and disgusting word as attributed by wacky and deranged Omarosa. I don't have that word in my vocabulary. Complete lies, and never have. She made it up. Look at her many recent quotes saying. And here's the thing. You got to understand the pattern of how Clockwork Orange, says these things about black people. He always, again, he always subjugates and minimizes black people as just being stupid, being, complete sideshows, being incoherent. We're just dumb and unintelligible speaking. We can't articulate why we are protesting. We're not smart enough to, articulate our thoughts. Whatever we say that speaks against your name, you denounce it, you completely dismiss it. Again, the three characteristics of a white supremacist is deny, deflect, and be dismissive. So you don't want to claim you're a racist, right? Even though you are a racist and that practices white supremacy, you don't want that title. Again, the always key characteristics of a white supremacist: deny, deflect, and be dismissive. So you always deny, deflect, and dismiss, claims of you practicing racism, white supremacy, by saying, this person is dumb. They don't know what they're talking about. They can articulate their thoughts properly. They don't even know why they're mad. Completely discredit them. And that's what you do continuously to black people. Always, right? And it's unfortunate that black people continue to support this guy, like Omarosa did for decades, working with him during the Apprentice days, decades. Acting like that, you had a seat at the table, even though he was just using you as a political pawn. That's what he continues to do. Everything that Clockwork Orange does is calculated, especially when he does things for black people. Well, when he does things with black people, I should say. He uses us as pawns. This is all calculated, right? And that's what I had. I had an issue when, you guys know I'm a big boxing fan. I had an issue with Deontay Wilder, doing a photo op with Clockwork Orange when he was there visiting the White House for the pardon of Jack Johnson, right? I had a real big issue with that. And I expressed the fact that, Clockwork Orange is using Deontay Wilder as an accessory. That's it. So Omarosa is an accessory. Anytime Clockwork Orange is working with somebody black, they are just accessories for his ideology, for his agenda. Look, I am definitely not a white supremacist. Look at my black friend here. Look at my black nigger here. I'm taking pictures with him. I'm actually talking to these people. They're talking to me. That's his whole shtick. Look at the black people I'm talking to. I'm not racist. Look at my black counterpart here. He is a nice stand-up guy. Right? And so whenever you go left with him, just like he went left with Omarosa, if you're classified as black, you are considered a incoherent black person that is, subhuman, can't articulate your thoughts, inarticulate, just complete dumb, and completely dismisses whatever you're talking about in terms of what you claim that he's done in terms of racist comments or him practicing racism, white supremacy. That's just whole shtick, right? So again, with Omarosa, what she's doing right now is she's making money. She's trying to make money as much as she can off of her time working with Clockwork Orange. Working with Clockwork Orange for all those years, it backfired because she got fired. And because she got fired, she needs to benefit from the fact that she got fired, and she needs to make money. This is a capitalistic society that favors white supremacy, but it's a capitalistic society nonetheless. So I understand what she's doing. I just don't agree with it. And the fact that black society should only see her as an accessory. That's it. Just an accessory. We use her when we need her. And if we don't need her, just continue to throw her away, because that's what she's doing. She's an opportunist, and she's taking advantage of the information that she knew about working with Clockwork Orange for all these years. So again, I'm not mad at her making money with her tell-all book. I'm not mad at it at all. I called it. I knew that the tell-all book was in the works, so I'm not mad at that at all, man. You know what I mean? So, but she is an accessory, and that's what she is. Just use her when we need her, and that's it. So whatever information she has from this book, it's information. Listen, you can say that Clockwork Orange, this complete evidence of Clockwork Orange using the N-word on tape. The tape can be released right now. He will still be in office, and nothing will happen to this man. This can you imagine just 1 ounce of information that Clockwork Orange has been going through that will be utilized against Barack Obama, right? If Barack Obama was dealing with not even like 1/10 of all of the scandals that Clockwork Orange is dealing with, Barack Obama would have been impeached within the first 2 weeks in office, or less than that. He would have been impeached and out of there within the first 2 weeks of his being in office, the shortest reign of a president of all time. But again, no matter what Clockwork Orange says and does, we know that he is a racist we know that he is a racist that practices white supremacy. We know that, right? But if there is a tape that claims that he used the N-word, if it came out today, he will still be in office. His white supremacist base will continue to support him. And that is the system that we live in. We live in a system of racism, white supremacy. That's why no matter what happens, he continues to get away with it because of his support system. So, all right. So anyway, those are my thoughts about that, family, about Omarosa's book. Leave your comments down below in the comment section, family. Make sure you follow me on social media at GMOGMediaTV. Again, I know my channel is very niche. I have a very niche market in terms of, my topics. I deal with, socially political driven topics pertaining to black society. But continue to support, share, like this video to as much people as you possibly can. Because I'm giving out content, guys, and I pride myself on providing good content for you guys. So share this video as much as you can, family. Until next time, family, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out.